Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman. Today we got Graham Smith of Smith Shapes with us to talk about the next model, which is the Goldfish Mid. Graham, talk to us about the Goldfish Mid.
Well, basically the Goldfish Mid, as we know, everyone's tendency has gone to mid-length globally. It's just been an icon board that everyone's kind of been working on. They've obviously seen them surfing them down in Malibu, in South Africa, even J-Bay with the mid-length older people. They create a lot of speed, obviously because of the length and the volume. And with this one, this is what I ride at my age, nearly 70 years old, trying to get fun with all the boys, especially this side, you know, getting mocked a bit, but it's cool, I don't mind, that's cool, you know, it's crazy. As you can see with this one, I think it's a 7.0.
7.0, yeah.
It's a 7.0, and particularly we've stuck to a quad on this because it's not really wrapping the board around, it's kind of more trimmed down the line, you know, getting forward on it, having fun, catching waves easy. It does have a nice pronounced V because being so wide, the water flow coming across spreads the water out, moves it off the bottom deck. Subtle swallow, not too deep, allowing the water to pass through the back, to sink the tail, to lift the nose, to shorten the rail, to be able to do a bit of a carve and a hack. Forward volume, the nose is not too wide, it's not like a fishy nose, it's still sexy, really soft tuck under rails, it's full round here. You kind of stand it, you stand mid here, you'll never get back onto the tail. That's about it basically. It's just the Papa G of the little goldfish.
Of the little goldfish.
That's it.
So Graham, I had a bunch of surfs on this thing, and you know, a couple of things that I noticed, like, you know, right, I actually had a bunch of really fun surfs right when I got it. And the first thing was like looking at this board on your website, you know, I don't know if it's like a cutout JPEG or whatever, but like it looked more like a long, you know, because this whole mid-length thing is kind of umbrellaing everything from like a Ben Gravy soft top all the way to like an 8.0 Malibu.
Exactly.
You know, when a lot of those boards really aren't mid-lengths. But when I first saw this thing online, I was thinking like, oh, well, it kind of looks like a longfish.
Yeah.
But after I rode it, it's kind of, I don't know, it's got more, the wide point's further back than that style, and it's got, you know, more power in the tail than that style board. So, I mean, it still rode really good and really positive. I just think sizing, you want to keep that in mind. You know what I mean? So like you want to kind of make it more shortboard size rather than going like super, not, you know, not like 6.0 shortboard size, but for each of the surfers, kind of what they would surf for a conservative shortboard. You know, like if I'd gotten this thing in a 6.8, like for this model, I think it would have been more spot on than the 7. Does that make sense?
100%. But we have seen a lot of the manufacturers even gone to 7, 6, 8 footers.
Oh, for sure.
With twins and pull the tail in a little bit. I mean, at this stage, I think it's all under development. Everyone's trying to find what's the right solution, you know, and we kind of just sticking around that 7-foot range, 6'10", 6'8", to accommodate the 90 kg to 100 kg surfer. I feel more the older side than the younger side, you know?
Right,
or a weekend warrior that's not surfing as much. He hasn't got the time, he's got his kiddies. And
or just a crowded competitive lineup, you know, and they only have a little time to catch, you know, catch some waves.
100%.
Another thing I noticed on this is I had been riding a lot of single fins, and like the wave catching and the trimming and some tubes here and there was fun, but like I wanted to start turning more. And this was like a really good board to come off of, you know, a similar size single fin and then get on this and then have a lot more turning, you know, with the nose being narrower and the nose being thinner.
Exactly.
And more, a little bit more, you know, entry rocker into it.
It's about, you're right, it's about finding the sweet spot.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You know, everything goes in circles, right? Like people 100%. Go one way and then they come back. And so this whole mid-length thing is really going, you know, and a lot of people are riding the single fins, but I think there's going to come a point in time like where a lot of those people, they get used to those boards and they're going to want to come back to something that turns.
100%.
You know, and this board turns. And so it's nice because you have the same volume of the board, but in a much turnier package, like a more performance package, compared to a single fin, which I found to be really nice. And then so the fin setup, I used a few different fin setups on this thing. I used like, these are the Machado quads from Futures, which were really good, like super drivey, like a lot of speed down the line. And then the other fins I used on it were like a standard Mayhem quad set, like the large ones, and that, you know, that obviously loosened it up, like off the top of the wave. Not as drivey down the line, but just a lot better, like in the pocket and off the top.
Well, Rob's been also investigating these options, and that's why we found this fin. It's got a long base, it's got a lot of area in the two front fins. It's going to give you hold, and this is going to give you just to be able to steer it with control, basically.
Right.
Opposed to it being this a bit smaller and this one a bit bigger.
Yep,
so
yeah.
I kind of like the Rob's idea. I really, I'm hooked on this. This is really good. I feel it rides well. And you can push it hard because you're going to be standing up front here. You can never be back down there.
Right.
You're going to be up here, over the fins. That's where you need to be to push it.
Yep, yep.
And then this is just going to just give you a positive direction, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, these Rob fins work amazingly on here.
And then we talked a little bit about EPS epoxy in something like this on the big boards and what it does.
Well, definitely. And as they get bigger, they're going to get heavier, for sure. So I think the epoxy is definitely, we're looking at those options right now. You spoke about that to us.
Yeah.
You know,
and you can make that as well.
Yeah, no, we can make epoxies for sure. We definitely have increased the factory by 400 square meters, which is considerably big, like 1,200 square feet. So, and you need to specialize in epoxy. You know, keep it away from the PU, from the you know, from the crystic resin. And yeah, we're definitely moving into that direction with epoxies. For sure, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, with the big boards, they seem to gain weight exponentially. Like when you start going like above 6'6", they can get heavy pretty quick.
They get heavy very quick. Otherwise, they're going to just ding out, and they're going to be destroyed. You know.
Right, if you go with a light gloss.
Exactly, if you go too light. So the epoxy definitely be the way to go, and you're going to feel a pop and get on top of the water a lot quicker.
Okay.
You know, with a board this size.
Yeah.
And possibly we can reduce the liters.
Yeah.
You know, 2 to 3 liters, we can actually reduce them.
Right, right.
You know, so, I mean, I was pushing this under today, which is quite easy, and this is 44 liters.
I think it's even more than that. I think it's like 48.
48.
48,
48 liters.
48 and a third, yeah.
And I could push this under, and I'm done at 92 kgs. I mean, to push under, it's a technique.
Yeah.
Opposed to everyone feeling it's not a technique, it's definitely a technique to push under.
I think it's like, I mean, we have a lot of people that are like dead set, like, I cannot duck dive anything over 40 liters. And it's, a lot of it's in their head. I mean, it's technique, but it's also like, you have to think you can do it.
Yeah. Well, the way I've been pushed under is how we developed it with Sean Thompson back at the Bay of Plenty, is using your foot, not your knee.
Right.
Because there's no leverage if you've got your knee. That's how far your knee is up from here to here. If you're using your foot, you've got your whole body to sink the board in, to get this nose in. And then you need to slightly push it this way to get it down, and then you get it to there. If you push it straight, it's not going to go down deep. You need to tilt it just slightly.
Tilt it a little bit, yeah.
And get it under. So it's definitely a technique, you know. If you want to get out, or you want to end up being back on the shore. That's the option.
You want to be on the second.
You need to have a technique if you want to start
peak.
to push under, for sure. And catch more waves.
Awesome, Graham. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us and talking about the Goldfish Mid. If anyone out there has any questions about the Goldfish Mid or wants to get one ordered up, you can always give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.